Good. And perfect. We're going to start in a comfortable seat. Finding the position that works for you. Really get comfortable. You sit at ease so that the body can be completely still. Get out all the fidgets. Either close the eyes or focus the gaze down onto one non-moving point. Feel that the seat becomes heavy. And there is length through the spine and a lift up through the top of the head. Take a few natural breaths here, allowing the body to settle. When you found complete stillness, draw your awareness inside. And become aware of anything that's coming up for you, physical sensations, anything that's niggling mentally or emotionally. There's not any need to try to change or assess anything. You're just observing how you're doing today. Also notice your mood and your energy. Know that when we move through the practice, you are always welcome to rest when you need to. You're encouraged to modify when you need to, and take the variations that you like to practice. We'll bring the hands into prayer in front of the heart. And there's an opportunity to set an intention, a positive affirmation. It may be the first word that came to mind. It may be a statement that you use every time, a mantra. It could be a quality that you'd like to manifest on and off the mat. When the mind is blank or distracted, you can think about why you've chosen to take the class today. We'll take an inhale together. Send out your intentions with your exhale. Lower the hands down And then come to lie down on your back. Come into any position that feels comfortable for you. And be quite mindful how you arrange yourself, your legs, your arms. Again, either eyes closed or focus the gaze onto one point. And when you found your comfortable position, allow the body to give in to the floor. Let yourself be held here. Know that there is no effort needed. That this position should be completely passive. And feel the contact between the body and the ground, all the points of contact. Let that connection become firmer. And then take the focus onto your breath, to your natural breath. A few moments paying attention to the breath, observing any of the qualities of your natural breath and how it feels at this point in the practice. And you can note the speed and the depth and the size. There might be a texture to the breath, temperature. I'm beginning now to extend the breath just a little bit, so the inhale becomes slightly longer and the exhale becomes slightly longer. And we're breathing consciously and creating an evenness to the breath. So the inhale and the exhale become the same length, just slightly longer than your natural breath. And I always like to mentally count the rhythm. So if I'm counting in for 4 with the inhale, I will match that count with the exhale. So find a count, a capacity, a rhythm that feels good for you. And we'll maintain this breath throughout the practice. We're kind of taking things back to basics this evening. No frills, no tricky poses, just keeping it pretty basic and simple. That doesn't mean that it might not feel challenging. We'll bring the knees together and draw them in towards the chest. And go with any movement that comes naturally. You might notice sensations through the lower back and the hips. Keep your right knee in, hug the knee in towards your right armpit and lengthen the left leg on the mat. Squeeze or interlace the fingers around your right shin and pull the right knee towards the armpit. I'm just here for a couple of breaths. Now take the right foot up towards the ceiling and take the interlace around the back of the hamstring. Slowly start to circle the right foot. When you're doing this with mindful awareness of how it feels, and there's control to the movement. You see if you can spread your toes out. If you haven't done so already, change the direction of your circles. And then point and flex. Point the toes, then flex the ankle. Get some nice clicks and pops out. And then hold it in a flex position. So you press the heel up towards the ceiling and the toes turn down towards your face. You can keep the knee bent any amount. You just want to find a stretch through the back of the right leg. And you can hold it still or just gently pulse back and forth. And then we're going to take a half happy baby. So bring your right knee towards the right armpit again and hold on either behind the knee or your ankle, or if you can reach, take the outside edge of your right foot. The knee is wide of the torso, not into the chest. And then draw down with your right hand. I like to rest my left hand on my left hip just to anchor it down. You draw down with the right hand. Feel there's compression through the right hip. And you can hold it here or bend and straighten through the right leg. Just see how that goes for you. Couple more breaths. Bend your left knee and bring the left foot onto the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh for figure 4. The right knee opens up and the right foot flexes. Hold it just like this or thread the needle, bringing both hands around the back of your left thigh. And then the left foot dangles down by your bum. And we're looking for the sensation through the right hip. And maybe a release through the lower back. For a couple of breaths. Now release your hands and bring both knees into the chest. And we'll switch sides. So hug your left knee towards the left armpit, interlacing around the shin. Extend the right leg on the mat. And squeeze that left knee in. Go ahead and extend the left leg high, interlacing around the back of the left thigh, and start to take your ankle rolls. Spread out the toes, slow the movement down. Almost like you want to try and draw a circular circle on the ceiling. Change the direction if you haven't done so already. And then point and flex. Hold it in the flex position. Press your heel up. Move into the position where you start to feel the stretch all through the hamstring, not just at the attachment, but through the belly of the muscle, through the calf, the belly of the calf muscle, up into your ankle. And if you flex the foot, you can get a bit of a stretch through the sole of the foot. And then we move into half happy baby. Bring your left knee towards the left armpit. Grab on wherever is easily accessible. You don't have to hold on to the foot. You might just be holding on behind the knee. Right hand anchoring the right hip down. You can be still or bend and straighten through the right leg. See how it goes. Now bend the right knee. Figure 4, left ankle crosses the right thigh. Open the knee up. Hold it here or thread the needle with both hands around the back of your right thigh. Breathe into that left hip. Release your hands and bring both feet onto the mat. You're going to take an easy twist. Shift your hips a little bit to the left. Let your knees roll to the right. Then rest your right hand on your outer left thigh and extend the left arm out to the left. 2 more breaths here. Bring the knees back through center. Shift the hips off to the right. Roll your knees to the left. Just a couple more breaths. Easy twist, not too much effort here. Just be in the shape. And then bring the knees back to center. Hug them in towards you. And we're going to rock all the way up to sit. And then over to all fours. Now bring your wrists roughly under the shoulders, knees under the hips. On your inhale, lift the gaze, lengthen the spine. Exhale, round the back and tuck the chin for cat pose. Inhale to cow pose, look up. Exhale, round the back. One more time, inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Come back to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes under. Now press into your hands. Press into your toes. Lift the knees just an inch or so off the mat. You really have to press down. Engage the core. You can round the back a little bit like cat pose. Broaden across the upper back. 2 more breaths. Keep pressing down. Everything strong. And then gently push back to downward facing dog. Lift the sit bones up and back. The crown of the head directed towards your thumbs, sit bones up and back behind you, and you can keep a little bend in the knees. If you need to adjust into it, go ahead, walking out the feet, shaking out the head. On your next exhale, look forwards. Whoops. Take 5 or 6 steps at least to the top of the mat. There's no rush. There was a prize, you'd get a prize for coming last. And then fold forwards. Let the head go. Bring the little fingers to rest in the elbow creases. Let the arms be very heavy. Give the head a shake. And sway from side to side. And then backwards and forwards. Release your hands down. On your inhale, make your way up to stand. Come all the way up. Reach the arms overhead, press the palms. Interlace the fingers. Flip the palms, press the heels of the hands up. So we're rooting through the feet, lifting up through the hands. On your next exhale, just lean over to your right. Think about lifting up and out of the waist and lean over to your right, and the hips sway a little bit to the left. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, lean off to your left. Inhale, straighten up, release the fingers up. Exhale and open twist to your right. Right arm back, left arm forwards. Stay here. Lift up through the top of the head. Turn the right shoulder open. Inhale, reach both hands high, look forwards. Exhale and open twist to your left. So you're lengthening from your feet to your crown, from your left hand to your right hand. Turn the left shoulder open a little bit more. Inhale, both hands up, look forwards. Exhale to fold in, forward fold. Let the head go, let the hands go. Take a halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Let's just hold it here for a minute. Everybody seems to skimp on the halfway lift, but it's not just a transition, it is a pose. You want the back to be nice and flat, and if it works for you, imagine that you're holding a glass of wine on your back and you don't want it to slide off. So squeeze the shoulder blades together. It might be a beer or a gin or whatever. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the chest. Stick your bum out. You might need to bend the knees quite a lot. Got a nice long spine, and you look straight down so the neck is neutral as an extension of the spine. It's the same halfway lift every time. Exhale, fold in. Then you can round. You almost tuck the chin in. Again, halfway lift. Same halfway lift. Open the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold in. One more time. Inhale, a halfway lift. Sides of the torso are long. The core is engaged. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to a plank. You can be in your high plank or a modified plank with the knees dropped down. Take an inhale here. Make sure that the hips are not drooping. You want the hips to lift up. On an exhale, bend your elbows, lower down onto your belly. Point your toes. Inhale for cobra, lift up any amount. Exhale, lower down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Tap the forehead down. Inhale to push up through the knees or plank. Exhale, move back to down dog. You're here for 5 breaths. So find stillness, get your fidgets out. Be still. Come back to your breath. On your next exhale, look forwards. Step or hop to the top. Take your halfway lift. Inhale, same halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, rise up, reach up, press the palms overhead. Exhale to fold back in. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, back to a plank, knees up or down, your call. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down. Inhale, cobra or up dog, if that's in your practice, if you're ready for it. Exhale, we lower back down. Inhale, push up, knees or plank. Exhale, back to down dog. Settle in, take 5 breaths. Keep your awareness on the breath. On your next exhale, look forwards. Make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold in with your exhale. Inhale, rise up, upward salute. One more time, forward fold with the exhale, not suddenly speeding up, just move with the breath. Halfway lift, inhale. Back to plank, exhale. Take an inhale here. Exhale to lower down, belly or chaturanga if that's in your practice. Inhale for cobra or up dog. Point the toes, the legs are strong. Exhale, move back to down dog through the knees or plank for 5 breaths. And follow each breath in. Each breath out, let the head go. Look back towards your legs. On your next exhale, look forwards. Make your way to the top of the mat. A halfway lift. Inhale. Fold in with your exhale. Inhale, upward salute. Rise up, stretch up. Exhale, hands to heart. And be still. And become aware of anything new that's coming up for you. Release the arms down by the sides, Tadasana. Bring the big toes either to touch or keep the feet about hip width. Inhale, reach the hands up, and then bend the knees, sit down into chair. So feet are rooting down, the legs are strong, the core tones, light engagement of the core. Then the shoulders and the arms are kind of relaxed. If the shoulders feel tight or pinched, just take the hands a bit wider. The legs are strong and you want to feel length through the sides, through the front. Do whatever you need to do to make it a little bit easier for yourself for a couple of breaths. Maybe that means sitting a bit deeper or rising up a little bit higher. One more breath. On an exhale, fold forwards. And step the right foot back for warrior one. The right foot flat on the mat, the toes point out. Bending into the left knee, lift up. And you can choose, you could just have your hands on your hips, you could have the hands in prayer, or take the hands high. And make your adjustments to settle in. We've got about 4 or 5 more breaths here. We're just keeping it simple, no frills. So the add-ons is really just the arms, whatever you want to do with your arms. And become very aware of how the pose feels, what's working, what might be working a little bit too hard, where you might need to make micro adjustments. On your next exhale, look down, place the hands down, come onto the toe mound of the back foot and step forwards, a halfway lift. Inhale, fold in with your exhale. Step the left foot back, warrior one, second side. So set your foundation up, find your feet, then you lift the torso up. Take the same arm variation on this side as you took on the first side. And you really want to feel that back foot fully pressing down, not so that you're on the inside edge or just the heel, whole of that footprint pressing down. Deep bend into the front knee, The hips squaring towards the top of the mat. So the right hip pulls back, left hip forwards, and the shoulders just rest above the hips. We've just got a couple more breaths here. Now use an exhale to look down. Place your hands down. Come onto the toe mound of the back foot and step back to downward facing dog. You're welcome to rest in down dog, or we will flow through the vinyasa. Inhale forwards to a plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale to down dog for 5 breaths. Down dog, all fours or child's pose, they're great options. On your next exhale, look forwards. Make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Sink the hips down, reach your hands up, chair pose. Be very particular about the position that you're in. Matching the movements to the breath. Use your next inhale to press into your feet and stand up. Reach your hands up. The whole of the exhale to lower the arms by the sides, Tadasana, and be still. Become aware of any changes to the breath, any new sensations that are rumbling up. On your next inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, sit down into chair. Make it comfortable. We're here for 4 more breaths. Just 1 more breath here. Use an exhale to fold forwards. Step the right foot back, warrior 2. Roughly working towards heel to arch alignment, where the front heel dissects the arch of the back foot, thereabouts. Bend into the front knee, rise up. Again, either hands on your hips, hands to heart, or you could bring the arms out to the side. So whatever you want to do, make your adjustments. And you might want to make it more challenging for yourself. You might want to ease off and make it more comfortable. So keep your awareness with whatever's coming up for you. It might be the front leg nagging, it might just be the heat building. You might just be completely at ease. You might be thinking, boring. I don't know. Just be aware of what is coming up for you. Couple more breaths. On an exhale, look to the top of the mat. Place your hands down, come onto the toe mound of the back foot. Little bend in the back knee, step forwards. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Step the left foot back, warrior 2. The back heel drops down, find your feet, then you lift up, grab the same arm variation as you took on the first side, adjust into your position. Again, building up from your foundation, your feet are the foundation and they both want to be pressing down, equal pressure all the way through the whole of the footprints. The legs are both engaged. The core is engaged. We don't want the ducktail with the bum sticking out. The engagement of the core draws everything into the center line. And the shoulders just stacked over the hips. And you've got a couple more breaths. Use an exhale to look down. Place the hands down. You're on the toe mound of the back foot. And step back, downward facing dog. And pause. Take a moment. Feel free to take a break or move through the vinyasa. Inhale to a plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, meeting in down dog. For 5 breaths. Follow each breath in and each breath out. On your next exhale, look forwards and make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Inhale, fold in with your exhale. Then the knees sink the hips, chair pose. And the breath still flows, the same rhythm. On your next inhale, stand up, stretch up. Exhale, bring the arms down by the sides and be still. Moving on, inhale, hands up. Exhale, sit down into chair. Just one breath here. And exhale to fold forwards. Step the right foot back. You're going to come up into a crescent lunge. Press into your feet. Lift the torso up, either hands on the hips, hands to heart, or hands high. And we're going to find warrior 3. So we've done warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3. And take the weight into your left foot. Step, drag, or hop your back foot in and straighten up. Moving step by step. So lift up through the top of the head. Find length from that back foot to your crown. And you could just stay here. Or you could flex the back foot, lift the toes up a little bit. If you want to hinge, you're hinging around the hips, lean the chest forwards, and float the back leg up. Either hands on your hips, hands to heart, or you reach the arms forwards, which might be a little bit more challenging. So root down into your standing foot. Fix the gaze on one point. Continue to breathe evenly. And then you're aware of whatever's coming up for you. Use your next inhale to rise up. Release the right foot next to the left, arms by the sides, Tadasana. Sometimes when we practice, it's quite nice to go really slow and become aware of those sensations that come up just through those poses, the slow movement, rather than having to power through all the vinyasas all the time. Moving on, inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, sit down into chair. Just one breath here. On an exhale, forward fold. Step your left foot back. Root down through the feet. Rise up to your crescent lunge. Choose your hand variation. Your foundation is now going to be the right foot for your warrior three. But we move into it step by step. I start by lifting up, standing tall. With left toes, a little kickstand behind you. Then flex the left foot. And a micro bend in your right knee. Stay just like this, or play with that seesaw action. What you might notice is the left hip really wants to open up to the left. Drop it down, so you can keep the hips square. And when those strong sensations start to build, stay with it by rooting down, breathing. Couple more breaths here. We're going to step back into the crescent lunge. On an exhale, bring your hands down and step back to downward facing dog. And pause, just see how you're doing. How is this working for you this evening? And if you want to be still, stay in down dog. If you want to rest, you can take child's pose or a final vinyasa. Inhale to a plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for any back bend, lift up. Exhale, push back to down dog. On your next exhale, look forwards. Step or hop through to seated. Make your way down onto your back. Bend the knees, let the knees knock in towards each other. Rest one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Now, moving into bridge, the feet are hip width and parallel, just close enough to tap your heels with your middle fingers. Now press your hands down, and we're going to be moving up and down with the breath. So inhale, start to lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips down. Continue to move with your breath. Inhale, you rise up. Exhale, come down. You can make this movement as big or as small as you like. Keep going. One breath, one movement. Next time that the hips lift up, we're going to hold it for 5 breaths. But if you prefer, you could keep going up and down. If you're holding it up, the option is to keep pressing your palms down, or you can interlace the fingers behind the back. You've got the same breath that you created at the beginning. And you know that when the breath isn't the same, that you might have just taken it a little bit too far and you need to back off or rest. And we'll stay for one more breath. Move the arms out of the way, lower the back down. Soles of the feet together and the knees open wide. And if this position doesn't feel comfortable, you could just knock the knees together. Now, take the legs long, point your toes, legs together, and then bring your arms behind the back like fish pose, but we're not taking fish. So bring your one arm underneath, the palm is down, bring the other arm underneath, palms down, elbows in, not out to the side. So the hands are here to support your lower back. Now engage your core. Lift your legs a little bit off the mat, only a foot or so, if that. And you can stay here, or you can lift up and look towards your toes. Hold it here, keep the breath smooth and easy. And then gently release. Shuffle the arms out from behind. Take a mini Shavasana. We're not quite done yet. Now rebend the knees. And find either figure 4, right ankle crossing the left thigh, or you could take an eagle wrap, so just wrapping the right thigh around the left like you're sitting cross-legged, up to you. And then either just stay as you are, or thread the needle, or bring the legs in towards you. If you've just wrapped the legs, just hold on wherever you can, knees, shins, feet or ankles. Drop the shoulders, relax the face. Now release, unravel the legs, both feet on the mat, pause for a moment. And we'll switch sides. So either figure 4 with the left ankle crossing the right thigh, or eagle legs where you wrap the left thigh over the right. Either thread the needle or just pull the legs in and hold on where is accessible for you. But either position will give an outer hip and lower back release and stretch. Release the hands, bring both feet down, pause for a moment. This time we will take fish pose, so bring your arms under the back, rock to one side, bring one arm under, rock to the other side, bring the other arm under, palms down, legs together, point your toes, and you might just stay here, a nice opening through the chest, or we press into the elbows, lift the chest up, and bring the crown of the head down onto the floor. We're here for 5 breaths. Release back out. Move your arms out of the way. Bring the arms down by the sides, turn your palms up. Take the feet to the edges of the mat, let your toes roll out to the sides. Make any small adjustments that you need so that this is comfortable. So that the body can be still. Feel the points of connection between the body and the ground. Allow yourself to release down. Let go of any residual holding. Scan through from the crown to the toes. Let everything soften. Let the whole body be heavy. The breath comes back to your natural rhythm. We take a few minutes to be still and quiet. I will let you know when it's time to come out. If you find that the mind is getting busy, you could use your breath as a point of focus. So anytime the mind wanders, come back and observe the natural flow of breath, the inhale and the exhale. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana. If you're ready to come out, begin to deepen the breath. Bring some movement into the fingers and the toes. Roll out the wrists and ankles. Turn the head from side to side. And then draw the knees in. Let yourself roll to one side. Make your way up to sit. Find a comfortable seat and press the hands in prayer. A moment to check in and notice any shifts, any space in the body, calmness to the breath. A slow down in space between the thoughts. Press the thumbs to the third eye between the eyebrows and remember your intention. Bow the head to the heart to seal the practice. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.